reading between lines that weren't even there, building a bridge out of thin mountain air. I took every maybe and I don't quite know, and planted a garden I thought we could grow. You didn't say yes, but you didn't say stop, so I climbed every stair till I reached the top, only to find that the view was just blue and us, and the story was never quite you. I mistook the quiet for a deep hidden well, a secret devotion that time would soon tell. But a room with no sound is just empty and cold, and silence is silver, it never was gold. And I fell for your silence, I drowned in the hush, I mistook the stillness for a soft holy rush. I was listening for words that you never would speak, while the foundation underneath me grew brittle and weak. I gave you my thunder, my heart and my light, but you were just a shadow in the middle of the night. Now I'm the only one left with the balance to pay, because I fell for your silence, and you just walked away. You let me do all of the talking for two, while I project a map to future on you. I thought you were steady, I thought you were deep, like a promise of love I was trying to keep. But you were just vacant, you were just gone, while I was the fool holding out for the dawn. It's a specific kind of lonely, a particular sting, to realize you're nothing was my everything. If you didn't love me, why'd you let me stay? Why'd you let me throw all my best years away? Was the quiet a weapon? Was the silence a shield? Or was there just nothing left to be a balance to play, because I fell for your silence, and you just walked away. Your silence told me everything I didn't wanna hear. Thought the water was shallow enough to stand, that I could always reach back for the safety of the sand. shoreline is a ribbon, a thin and silver line, and I'm losing every landmark that I used to call mine. Your love was a current, a slow and steady pull. I let it take me under until my lungs were full. Now the light from the surface is a dim and distant spark as I'm drifting further down into the quiet and the dark. There's no anchor in the ocean, no ladder in the sea, just the weight of all the always that you promised to me. I'm 1,000 leagues under where the pressure starts to fold, in a world that's getting heavy and a heart that's getting cold. And I've gone too deep, I've sunk too far. I'm looking for the bottom while I'm reaching for a star. I gave you all the oxygen, I gave you every breath. Now I'm caught in the middle of a slow motion death. There's no way to swim back, no way to find the shore. I don't know who I am without you anymore. I'm lost in the blue in a sea that I can't keep. Yeah, it's over my head, I've gone too deep. See our memories like wreckage on the floor, rusty gold and iron from a life we lived before. I try to touch the pictures, but they crumble in my hand like a castle made of water that I messed up for the land. You're already breathing in the earth, someone new, while I'm still submerged in the memory of you. It's a specific kind of lonely, a particular chill when the world is moving on, but the water's standing still. They say just keep swimming, they say look for the light, that they've never been stranded in the middle of this night. Well, the salt is in my spirit and the tide is in my soul, and I'm just a hollow vessel that's lost all its control. There's no way to swim back, no way to find a shore. I don't know who I am without you anymore. I'm lost in the blue in a secret I can't keep. It's over my head, I've gone too deep. Gone too deep. I'm just sinking now. I watch the steam rise from your coffee cup like a white flag waving in the hall. I wanted to reach out and pull us back up, but you were already letting us fall. The door didn't slam, it just gave a soft click, the smallest of sounds for a wound so thick. I stood in the kitchen and counted to 10, knowing I'd never be me back then. The air in the hallway is heavy as lead with the weight of the I love yous we already said on the map with no ink, the sky with no blue. Standing silence that's left after you. And oh, goodbye felt forever, like a thread that was cut and can't be put together. It wasn't a sea or a wait for the rain. It was a cold, quiet ending, a permanent stain. I'm a king with no crown, a ship with no sail, watching our story turn winter and pale. Yeah, the world keeps on spinning, but I'm off the tether, because goodbye felt forever. Wash the glass you used last, but I couldn't bring myself to throw out the mail. I'm haunted by the future and stuck in the past, tracing the outlines of the love that was frail. I saw your sister at the shop on the hill. She looked right through me and my heart just stood still. She didn't mention your name and I didn't ask. I'm getting quite good at this moving on mask. Is there a place where the memories stop, where the pressure in my chest finally drops? Or am I just destined to wander these halls, touching the cracks in love forever? Watching our story turn winter and pale. Yeah, the world keeps on spinning, but I'm off the tether, because goodbye felt forever. Oh, Watch the steamer. We're sitting on the sofa, just an inch or two apart, but there's a frozen ocean sitting heavy on my heart. You're staring at the static on the glowing television, and I'm a ghost inside a house, a blur in your vision. I reach to touch your shoulder, but my hand just pulled away. Afraid of all the hollow things that neither of us say. The lamp is casting shadows that look longer than the hall, and I'm leaning my whole spirit on a cold and crumbling wall. The air is getting thinner, the room is getting wide. There's nowhere for a breaking heart to run and try to hide. I'm screaming in the silence, but you don't hear a sound, just the heavy thud of forever hitting the ground. It's a specific kind of hollow, a particular blue, to be sitting in the dark and feeling lonely by your side. I'm 1,000 miles away while I'm looking right at you, in a house full of memories with nowhere left to reside. I'd rather be alone in a desert or a storm, than lying in a bed where the ghost of us is warm. Every distance is a canyon that's too deep and too wide, and I've never been so lonesome as I am only by your I cooked your favorite dinner, but you didn't taste a thing. You're humming a new melody that I don't know how to sing. I try to catch your eyes, but they're fixed on the door, like being in this room is a heavy-duty chore. I remember when a whisper was enough to bridge the gap. Now there's a universe of maybe falling in or laugh. I'm a stranger in your stories, a footnote in your day, watching every I love you slowly start to fray. If I walked out the door, would you even turn your head, or would you just keep staring at still wondering why. So specific kind of hollow, a particular blue. So I've been sitting in the dark and feeling lonely by your side. I'm 1,000 miles away while I'm looking right at you. In a house full of memories with nowhere left to reside. I'd rather be alone in a desert or a storm than lying in a bed where the ghost of us is warm. Yeah, the distance is a canyon that's too deep and so wide. And I've never been so lonesome as I am lonely by your side. By your side. But you're God, only waiting for the dawn, lonely by your side. Lonely by your But you're already gone. Lonely by your side. We're sitting on a sofa. We're sitting on a sofa. You're sitting on the sofa. Oh, but you're already gone. Lonely by your side. Lonely by your We're sitting on a sofa. We're sitting on a sofa. I found a receipt in the pocket of my jeans from that Tuesday night we spent in New Orleans. The ink is fading, turning into a ghost, like the version of you that I love the most. Now you look at me like a book you've already read, with nothing left but the goodbye unsaid. The calendar's lying, it says it's today, but I'm stuck in a time that's slipping away. I'm reaching for hands that have already let it go, watching the end of a beautiful show. Could you just love me yesterday, one more time? Back when your heart was in rhythm with mine, back when the forever was easy to say, and we weren't just ghosts in the shades of gray day. I don't want the now and I don't want the soon. I want the us under a different moon. If you can't love me now, then please find a way to go back in time and love me yesterday. I see you in the kitchen, but you're not really there. Just a cold, quiet hum and an ordinary check in your watch, a check in the door. Of being with me's a heavy-duty chore. I remember the way you used to lean in before the saddles got under our skin. Now we're just two ships in a harbor of ice, paying for a love that we couldn't afford twice. Is there a map to the way we used to be before you became a stranger to me? I trade every tomorrow I'm ever gonna see for one more yesterday with you and me. Could you just love me yesterday, one more time? Back when your heart was in rhythm with mine, back when forever was easy to say, and we weren't just ghosts in the shades of the gray day. I don't want you now and I don't want the soon. I want the yes under a different mood. If you can't love me now, then please find a way to go back in time and love me yesterday. Yesterday. And we were still us before the gold turned into dust. Just love me yesterday, one more time. One more time. The clock on the wall is a heavy-handed thief, counting out seconds and feeding the grief. I'm staring at the ceiling, tracing the cracks, waiting for a feeling that isn't coming back. I reached for your hand in the space between dreams, but the moonlight is wider than it ever seems. The house is a museum of the things we once said. Now it's just a ghost at the foot of the bed. The coffee's gone cold and the shadows are tall. There's a silence that's screaming all down the hall. I'm a king of a kingdom that's turned into dust, in a world that's forgotten the rhythm of us. And it's midnight without you. it's just a goodbye. I'm counting the heartbeats I'm wasting on time, while the mountain of lonely is too steep to climb. Yeah, the world is asleep, but I'm falling through this endless cold midnight without you. Like a dying man clutching a beautiful ghost. His scent is a whisper that's starting to pale, like a breath of a wind in a tattered old sail. I try to remember the sound of your laugh, but I'm only left with this jagged edge half. The radio's playing a song from our past, and I'm wondering how many more hours will last. If I scream into the dark, will the morning the only way I can feel alive? In the ache and the echo, in the salt and the sting of a love that's become a forgotten old thing. And it's midnight without you, a hollowed out blue, a dark kind of mirror that I'm looking through. The stars are just pinpricks of ice in the sky, and every forever was just a goodbye. I'm counting the heartbeats I'm wasted on time, while the mountain of lonely is too steep to climb. Yeah, the world is asleep, but I'm falling through this endless cold midnight without you. Without you, just leave. Lights are off in the lights are all out in the midnight lights are all out in the without you, the lights are all out without you. The lights are out without you. I changed the way I dressed and the way I spoke. I tried to be the punchline of every joke. I Painted my world in the colors you chose, from the depth of the thorns to the scent of the rose. I polish my edges to fit in you calm. I try to be steady, I try to be calm, but I'm looking at you through a curtain of gray, and I see that you're looking for a getaway. I gave you my marrow, I gave you my bone, I built you a garden from a mountain of stone. I traded my shadow just to give you some light, but I'm still the wrong person at the end of the night. I guess I was not enough for you. No matter the miracles I tried to do, I was a stopover, a place you could rest, but I never quite passed your invisible test. I put on my ocean to fill up your cup, but you're still looking down while I'm looking up. Yeah, I gave you my heart and a love that was true, but I was just not enough for you. Not enough for you. You're searching for something I don't even have, a secret ingredient, a different path. I see you scrolling through ghosts on a screen, looking for a life that you haven't yet seen. I'm standing right here with my hand in the fire, but I'm not the fuel for your latest desires. A specific kind of hurt, a particular stain, to be everything I am and still not be the thing. It's the version of me that would work with a different smile or a different quirk, or is the problem not the how to what, but the fact that your heart is already sure? I could be the moon, I could be the sun, but I'll never be the only one. Not enough for you. That's the hardest truth. I'm the one who holds the umbrella while you wait for her call, the shoulder that you lean on when you're leaning for a fall. I know the way you take your teeth, the way you hide your scars. I've memorized your constellations, I've counted all your stars. But when the phone finally rings and your face begins to glow, I'm just the background noise, the shadow in the show. I'm the safety net you use until you find your wings again, a permanent resident in the morning. more than just a friend. I'm a silver medal heart in a gold-plated world, watching every banner for another name unfurled. I'm the almost, I'm the maybe, I'm the always there for you, but I'm never the one you're actually saying I do to. And it's a long, cold walk in second place in love, looking at the ceiling while you're reaching for above. I'm the runner-up, the footnote, the girl who didn't win, standing on the outside while she's invited in. I've got all the devotion, but I've got none of the prize, just the reflection of her beauty in your tired, happy eyes. Yeah, my heart is winning races that you didn't even run. I'm just second place in love to your own. I spent 1,000 nights listening to why it didn't work, defending all your virtues, explaining every quirk. I washed the tears off of your face and the whiskey off your breath. Loving you in silence is a slow and quiet death, because I know that if she walked through that door right now, you forget the way I'm holding you. You forget our unspoken vow. I'm a placeholder for a heart that's waiting for a better, a temporary warmth in a never-ending winter. When does the consolation prize become the one you keep? When do I get to be the dream that wakes you from your sleep? I'm tired of being the almost, I'm tired of being the nearly, I'm tired of loving someone who only sees me clearly when she's gone. Second place in love. Second place in love. Walking through the kitchen in the 4 a.m. light, watching the patterns the moon makes in the night. I still see your coffee cup sitting by the sink, though I moved it a month ago, so I'd like to think. The hallway is longer than it used to be, and the air feels heavy with the you and the me. I'm reaching for a hand that isn't there anymore, just a hollowed out echo and a click of the door. The walls are like mirrors that won't let me go, reflecting a story that's ending too slow. I'm chasing the outline of a ghost in the hall, trying to catch a love before it starts to fall. And I'm living in the shadows of us, dark and deep, and the promises we made but couldn't quite keep. I'm a silhouette as in an empty room in a garden of memories that'll never quite bloom. Every corner I turn, I see a piece of the past, in a kingdom of always that wasn't built to last. Yeah, the sun is calling up, but I'm lost in the dust, caught in the flicker of the shadows of us. Sweatshirt in the back of the car, and it felt like a sting from a distant cold star. The scent is a whisper that's starting to pale, like a breath of a wind in a tattered old sail. I try to remember the way that we laughed before we were cut into this jagged edge half. Now I'm just a stranger in my own skin, watching the walls of our forever cave in. If I turn on the lights, will you disappear? Will the silence finally be all that I hear? Is the haunting a choice that I'm making to keep the heart that you're busy with yeah, just shadows. Just shadows, a shadows. I'm walking through the kitchen. 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 I'm walking through the kitchen in the shadows. I'm sitting in the kitchen, watching the light change. The way the shadows stretch feels quiet and strange. I didn't hear a glass break, I didn't hear a scream. Just a slow motion dissolving of a long-held dream. You're in the other room, I can hear you move the chair, but it feels like there's a mountain of cold, empty air between the hours of day and the years of time to go. The tide is going out and it's painfully slow. There's no thunder, there's no lightning strike, just the fading of the things we used to like. A slow leak in the heart, a gray kind of mist, taking back the heat from every time that we kissed. And I'm softly breaking like a page in an old book, giving way beneath the weight of a single look. It's not a crash, it's not a fall from a high. It's just a slow surrender of the morning to the night. I'm a house of cards in a room with no breeze, falling down and whispers falling to my knees. No one hears the sound of the heart that I'm taking, because I'm just softly breaking. I saw your coat hanging by the back door and realized it doesn't look like home anymore. It's just fabric and buttons, it's just wool and thread, like the hollowed out version of the things that we said. I'm tracing the brain of the wood on the table, trying to stay steady, trying to stay able, but the fibers are snapping one bit at a time, and losing you feels like a victimless crime. If I made a noise, would you come running in to fix the tiny cracks underneath my skin? Or would you just stand there watching me pray, waiting for the silence to sweep me away? breaking like the snow on the roof, breaking in the quiet of the hall. I'm barely making a sound at all. Softly breaking. Softly breaking. I watched the glass slip right from your hand, the crystal heart crashing on the kitchen floor. In the time it took for the shards to land, I saw you walking out the bedroom door. Everything slowed to a ghost of a crawl. The dust and the light started frozen and still. I'm leaning my weight on a crumbling wall, watching the wreck of a broken down wheel. The clock on the mantle is ticking in sand. I'm reaching for things I can't even feel. A postcard of us from a faraway land is the only thing left that still feels like it's real. And I'm watching my tears in slow motion, falling like rain in a desert of blue. A heavy salt water sinking in motion, tracing the lines of the was and the you. I can see every ripple before it hits home, a million miles away while I'm standing alone. Yeah, the world is a blur, a deep-seated devotion in the thicker of tears in slow motion. You said your goodbye in a low muffled hum, like a radio signal from deep in the dark. I'm waiting for the feeling of being quite numb, but instead I'm just watching the end of the spark. I see the soul path on the curve of my cheek before it even has a chance to arrive. The silence is loud and the future is weak. I'm just trying to keep it yesterday alive. One drop for the promise we didn't quite keep, one for the secrets we buried too deep, one for the maybe the start in a pen, like a ghost of the breath in a tattered old sail. In slow motion, slow motion. One more drop in the quiet of the room, watching the tears, slow motion. sat at the table with the distance between, like a steady filled signal on a grayscale screen. I reached for your hand, but you were checking the time, treating our history like a mountain to climb. We spoke in the shorthand of a love that's grown old, trading our silver for a handful of coal. I looked for the fire, but the wood was too wet. Just a room full of ghosts and a heavy regret. No one was screaming, no one was mad. We were just mourning the us that we had. The oxygen vanished, the shadows grew tall as we waited for one of us to finally call. And the last time we tried, it was quiet and hollow, a road with a map that we couldn't quite follow. We were sewing up seeds that were destined to tear, building a castle out of thin winter air. I could see in your eyes that you'd already left, and I was just standing there feeling the theft. The heartbeat was fading, the rhythm had died in the silence of the last time we You said I'm still here, but your voice was a ghost, a polite little echo of the version I love most. I tried to remember the way that we laughed before we were cut into this jagged edge half. We went through the motions, we played out the part like a battery dying in a mechanical heart. But you can't fake the gravity, you can't fake the pull, and the cup is already remarkably full of empty. We didn't go out with a bang or a crash, just a stubborn ember turning to ash. We looked at the wreckage and both of us knew that there wasn't enough left on the end of the wearing the jewelry you bought for my birthday. Even though the gold feels heavy and cold, I'm reading the letters you wrote in the doorway. Back when that future was brave and was bold. Now I'm a canvas that's frayed at the borders, a map with the edges all jagged and white. I'm trying to follow my heart's latest orders, but it keeps leading me back to your light. I should be angry, I should be gone, I should be looking for a brand new dawn. But I'm stuck in the threads of the yesterday's sweater, thinking that broken still feels a bit better than alone. And I'm torn but still yours, a beautiful mess, living in the wreckage of a no and a yes. I got one foot in the hallway and one in the room, watching the shadows of forever gloom. I'm a heart in 1,000 pieces on the floor, but every single one is still wanting you more. Yeah, the fabric is ripping, the bridge has been burned, but I'm still waiting for the love that I earned. I'm tired, but still yours. I saw you at the station, just a blur through the glass, and I felt the ghost of our history pass. I wanted to shout, but my voice was a sliver, like a stone that's been tossed in a fast-moving river. You moved the furniture and changed our lives, but I'm still holding on to the key in the box. I'm a secret you buried, a ghost you've outgrown. I'm still a kingdom you used to own. Is it loyalty, or is it just fear that I'll never be me if you're not here? So I stay in the middle, I'll stay in the fray, holding the pieces that you threw away. The bridge has been burned, but I'm still waiting for the love that I earned. I'm torn, but still yours, still yours. In the middle of the road, every breath that I take, yeah. I'm still yours, still yours. And little of the break, torn, at every breath that I take. I'm still yours. still yours. The bookmarks are still sitting halfway through the page, like a bird that's forgotten the door of its cage. I have tickets for a concert that's coming in May, but I'm looking at the calendar and throwing it away. We left the paint cans open in the spare room upstairs, a blueprint for a life that nobody shares. I'm walking through a movie that cut to the black before the hero could ever find his way back. We're a sentence that ends in a comma and a blur, a story where the always didn't occur. The ink is still wet, but the pen's on the floor, and I'm left staring at a wide open door. Now we're just unfinished us, the broken off line, half-painted picture that I still claim as mine. We're a bridge to an island that never was built, a beautiful garden that's starting to wilt. I'm holding the pieces of a puzzle with no end, stuck in the static of a lover and a friend. Yeah, the world keeps on spinning, but I'm lost in the dust of the ghost of a promise and an unfinished us. Your grocery list on the fridge in the hall, bread, milk, and honey, the smallest of all, but it feels like a testament. Jagged side of the domestic forever that's no longer mine. We were supposed to grow, we were supposed to be great. Now I'm just watching the some days decay. It's a specific kind of money, a particular rate for the version of tomorrow we won't get to make. Is there a place for the stories that fail, for the wind that died out in the middle of a sale? I'm tired of the almost, I'm tired of the near, I'm tired of the person who's no longer here. Garden that's starting to wilt. I'm holding the pieces of a puzzle with no end, stuck in the static of a lover and a friend. Yeah, the world keeps on spinning, but I'm lost in the dust of the ghost of a promise and an unfinished us. Just a song that was over before it begun. Now I'm finished. I'm still waiting for at the ring, indentation on your finger, a pale little ghost where the gold used to linger. We had a blueprint for a house on the hill, with a porch and a swing and a world standing still. Now I'm folding the maps and clearing the shelf, trying to find a version of me by myself. The ink on the contract is starting to fade, like the forever and always that we both portrayed. The air is too thin and the ceiling's too high, since you traded all we for a hollow goodbye. I'm holding the ticket to a train that won't come, just a heart in a box beating hollow and numb. They're just vanished promises, caught in the wind, the end of the story before we could begin. We built up a future on a foundation of glass. Now I'm watching the fragments and the memories pass. You took all the somedays and left me the now, with a broken down heart and a shattered down vow. Yeah, I'm drowning in the depth of a love that was free, and the vanished promises you made to me. I saw your handwriting on a note in the drawer, talking about trips to the sea and the shore. I wanted to burn it, but I just held it tight, tracing the curves in the middle of the night. You promised you'd stay when the winter got cold. They promised we'd laugh from a wrinkle to know, but the old came too early and the stay turned to gold. Now I'm the last person to be in the know. Were they just words just to fill up a space, to keep me from seeing the look on your face? Or did you believe in the moment they felt before our heaven turned into this hell? They're just vanished promises, caught in the wind, the end of the story before we could begin. We built up a future on a foundation of glass. Now I'm watching the fragments in the memories pass. You took all the Sundays and left me the now, with a broken down heart and a shattered down mind. I'm drowning in the depth of a love that was free, and the vanished promises you made to me. Vanished, vanished, like smoke from a fire that's no longer there. Just vanished promises and an empty chair. Yeah, you promised. I'm looking at the ring indentation. Oh, the folding van you promised. You promised. I was painted in neon, I was bold, I was bright. I was the only star you wanted in your night. But the colors started leaking, one drop at a time, like a slow motion sentence for a victimless crime. You stopped looking at me when I walked in the room. Now I'm just a shadow in the corner of the gloom. I'm a radio signal that's losing its strength, while you're measuring the distance and the hallway's length. I didn't go out with a bang or a spark. You just stopped providing the light in the dark. I reached for your hand, but I felt like the air. You were looking right through me like I wasn't there. And you let me fade, you let me turn gray, like a photograph left in the sun for a day. The edges are curling, the center is white. I'm disappearing into the middle of the night. You didn't have to break me, you just didn't hold the person you promised to love till we're old. Now I'm a ghost in a house that we made, and it's quiet because you let me fade. You let me fade. I'm a whisper in winter, a leaf on the lake, dissolving in ripples of a final mistake. I tried to shout to stay, but my voice was too thin, like the paper cut layers of my own weary skin. I see you on your phone, I see you in the glass, watching the minutes and the memories pass. I'm a footnote in a story, ready to close, the scent of a petal on the dying down rose. Was I too much or was I not enough? Did you get tired of the jagged and rough, or did you just forget how to see who I am, leaving me fading away. Can you see me at all? Just a blur on the wall. You let me fade. I can handle the street where we used to walk. I can even get through the small talk. I've rearranged the books and the pictures on the wall, and I don't jump anymore when I hear a footfall. But someone mentions a movie you liked, or a place where we once spent a Saturday night, and the air in the room suddenly turns to lead, leaving every moving on word unsaid. It's a five-letter lightning strike in the dark, a tiny vibration that still leaves a mark. I can face the silence and I can face the rain, but there's one specific syllable that carries the pain. Because your name still hurts like a fresh jagged cut, like the door to a kingdom that's permanently shut. I can say it out loud, but it tastes like regret. A beautiful rhythm I haven't lost yet. It's a ghost on my tongue, it's a weight in my chest. The one part of us that won't go to rest. Yeah, the world is moving, but the truth is the worst. Just the sound of your name still hurts. I saw it written on a coffee cup today, and I had to look the other way. It's just a collection of vowels and of breath, but it feels like a slow motion miniature death. I try to use it in a sentence about someone else, but I can't hide the tremor, I can't help myself. It's the password to a heart that I can't open now, the broken down remains of a sacred old vow. If I shouted at the ocean, will the waves take it back? Will it fill up the crater? Will it bridge every crack? Or will it just echo off the cliffs and the stone, reminding me strictly that I'm here alone? Because your name still hurts like a fresh jagged cut, like a door to a kingdom that's permanently shut. I can say it out loud, but it tastes like regret. A beautiful rhythm I haven't lost yet. It's a ghost on my tongue, it's the weight in my chest. The one part of us that won't go to rest. Yeah, the world is moving, but the truth is the worst. Just the sound of your name still hurts. It still hurts. Just the sound of it. I whisper it to the shadows. Yeah, it still hurts. I still keep the porch light on till dawn, even though the driveway's been empty for weeks. I find myself humming that old silver song, but when it brings a soul to my cheeks. The grocery store felt like a battlefield today. I reached for your brand before I looked away. The checkout girl smiled, but I couldn't find mine. I'm just a ghost standing still in the line. The house has grown taller, the hallways are wide. Just know it for a broken heart to hide. The oxygen's different, the shadows are new. Everything changed in the wake of you. After you left, the clock still got slow. The garden forgot how it's supposed to grow. But we became me in a blink of an eye, and I'm learning the weight of a final goodbye. I'm a map with no ink, sky with no blue, just a hollowed out version of a life I once knew. Yeah, the world kept on turning, but I'm still bereft, living in the wreckage after you left. I finally washed the glass you used last, but I couldn't bring myself to throw out the mail. I'm haunted by the future and stuck in the past, like a ship that's forgotten the use of a sail. I saw your sister at the park on the hill. She looked at me like I was making her ill. She didn't mention your name and I didn't ask. I'm getting quite good at this, moving on math. Is there a place where the memories stop, where the pressure in my chest finally dry floor? Am I just destined to wander these halls, tracing the cracks in the forever? Living in the wreckage after you left, after you left. The silence is a permanent guest after you left. My heart just went west. Yeah, I'm still right here I watched you take your shadow from the hallway floor. The heavy sound was the click of the door. I tried to call out, but the air turned to stone. 1,000 pound silence I'm holding alone. The windows are fogged with the heat of the past, but the frost on the inside is settling fast. I'm counting the seconds by the flood in my chest, like a bird with no wings in a hollowed out nest. The oxygen's thin and the ceiling is low. I'm reaching for stay, but I'm tasting the go. The world is a blur, just a static of gray as the color of us starts to flicker away. And now I'm barely breathing now, gasping for air, in a room full of ghosts and an empty chair. My lungs are a desert, my heart is lead, living on words that we should have just said. I'm underwater, I'm lost in the deep, with a mountain of promises I couldn't keep. Every heartbeat is heavy, every second is blue, and I'm barely breathing now without you. I find your old sweater and I hold it too tight, trying to steal back a piece of the light. But the scent is a ghost that's beginning to fade, like the always and forever that we both betrayed. I try to stand up, but the floor is a lake of every I'm sorry and every mistake. The simplest thing, just a breath in, a breath out, is a battle I'm losing to the shadows of doubt. Is this how it ends? Just a struggle for air, searching for meaning in a vacant stare. I give up the sky just to catch my own breath in the slow motion dance with the love story dead. Every second is blue, and I'm barely breathing now without you. Breathing in, breathing out, just a ghost in the room, barely breathing. Reached out my hand at 4:30, expecting to find what was there before. But my fingers just met the cotton and air, a hollow reminder that you aren't there. The moonlight is tracing the shape of the ghost of the person I thought that I needed the most. The furnace is humming, the thermostat's high, but there's a winter in here that I can't I'm sleeping in circles, I'm sleeping in lines, trying to ignore all the warning signs that the space in the middle is a mile wide, and there's nowhere left for a heart to hide. Now I'm waking up on the cold side of the bed, with a heavy heart and a clouded head. I'm shivering under the weight of the earth, watching our kingdom turn into dust. I try to stay on my side, I try to stay still, but the emptiness has a mind and a will. It's a lonesome Arctic, frozen instead, just me and the cold side of the bed. I haven't changed the sheets in a week or two, still trying to catch a faint scent of you, but it's fading away like a breath on a glass, while the slow motion now is continue to pass. I used to complain that you took all the space, now I give anything to see your face, taking up room, stealing the heat, making the world feel whole and complete. Is it possible to freeze in the middle of July, to feel the noise told beneath the summer sky? I'm piling on blankets, I'm closing my eyes, but the truth is a shiver that no one denies. Me and the cold side of the shadow of